XRP and XLM are receiving a boost from Ethereum this time. We're going to talk XRP XLM price action along with some BTC ETF action. This has to do with fees and downward pressure from a conversion. So on one side, we've got good news for the BTC ETF conversion. On the other side, we got some not so good news. But I think the not so good news, though, isn't as bad as people are saying. Let's learn. And by the way, happy Friday, everyone. Just got back from some Black Friday shopping. Some decent deals out there. BroX77 says, love the content. Keep it going. Well, appreciate that. Big Fullify says, Kathy Wood should be in prison. Did a story earlier about how Kathy Wood is like, yo, BTC ETF action is where it's at. As she's selling it, what is going on? Heat map action, Bitcoin's in at 37,931. Come on, get to the 38. ETH 2095. We're going to talk about some ETH BTC XRP XLM comparison soon. You're not going to want to miss it. XRP sitting at 62 Su. XLM still laggard in the event. 11.8 up 1.3 last 24 hours. Look at Casper, 13.9 up 10%. By the way, taking a quick look at ETH because we're going to compare ETH. The recent move with ETH is a healthy one, and the reason I bring it up is this. Look at the move right here. 1555 to 2065. That's good. Now that's happened since mid-October to now. That's good juicy action. At the beginning of the year, ETH 1200. Do you remember those dark days post FTX times? And remember, I was the content creator around that time and said, you know what, the worst is yet to come. It doesn't mean that the snowstorms and lightning storms and the tornadoes and all those hurricanes are over. It just means we're out of the mass of it. Let's get into the news. Ethereum conquers 2100 on-chain data. Could not hold 2100, but like I said with Bitcoin, we're going to be watching it. Ethereum has no major on-chain resistance at high levels. I have not seen this data in a while, and as always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. I have not seen this data for a while. This is more positive data. So for those of you out there like say, bro, you're negative. No, I report the news whether it's positive or negative. This is actually very positive. An analyst post on X explained that Ethereum has overcome major on-chain resistance zone with its recent price rally. The on-chain resistance support levels are defined based on density of investors who bought at them. Let's take a look at it. Oh, check it out. Look at that current price action, okay? Basically what they're saying is, look, you got a big ball of people that bought right here, okay? And those people right now are in the green. Now, they're barely in the green, but they're in the green. So the green, the holdings, right, you're starting to build a bigger and bigger resistance at lower price points. This one right here is at the 1982 point to the 2044. That's where the biggest support right now is coming. The next biggest chunk comes way lower at the 1786 to the 1853 mark. Now, look, you still see some people here that are taking a little bit longer term positions that are deep in the red. You're talking ETH at 2105. And when we go to the Ethereum charts right here, so let's check out to see when the last time ETH was at that 2100 mark. We had a little bit of action here in April this year, but then we start looking more in 2022. So we're starting to erase some of these long-term buys where people are being very heavy. So now we're getting more support at the lower price points, which is good news because that's a good indication going on up. Now let's talk about the weird thing with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Okay, there's some rumblings going out there that say, you know what, we're going to have some really, really big pressure on BTC and the rest of the crypto market. Now, I want to share it with you. Now, I don't know. I think the pressure is going to wash out at the end, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. JP Morgan analysts suggest that if the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, the flagship fund of digital asset manager Grayscale, receives approval to transform into a spot BTC ETF, investors might draw as much as $2.7 billion. That could put downward pressure on prices. But you think they're just going to convert the $2.7 billion, or do you think then they're going to convert and transfer? And I think that's what I'm kind of looking at more, and I think that's what a lot of people are going to do. So once this happens, once it gets converted, do you think everyone's just going to bail? No, I think a lot of these investors are going to stand. So what Eric Balchunas is saying, and a very well-respected analyst, is saying, hey, look, we've been bullish, but that $2.7 billion outflow could happen, and it could put big-time pressure on BTC. My thinking, though, is that I think, yes, there is going to take some profit-taking, but I think a good chunk of that money is going to come back in. Now, what he's saying is this. It is likely that the $2.7 billion would come out of GPTC as these investors take profit. Severe down pressure on Bitcoin prices could be because of that. Now, like I said, I think a big chunk are going to invest. I think a big chunk of these buyers are going to invest because they're looking to see BTC get way higher than where it is now. A lot of us out there are sitting here going, you know what? The crypto market has got a lot more room. It's just financial conditions aren't right yet. So will people exit that market? Are they going to look at this as exit liquidity? I don't think so. Honestly, if 100% of the people convert and exit, I think 80 or 90% are going to buy back in or keep the funds at what is known as similar. All right, so I don't see the pressure there. Let's get to some comparisons, okay? Wanted to share this with you. This is BTC's most recent move here to 38. Happened while I was out, okay? A little shopping action. Now, could not hold, not a big deal. Want to share this, though, with you. This is BTC in red, XRP in blue, and XLM in purple. And what you could see in this hashed section right here, this is the only time this year that the alts have been ahead of Bitcoin price-wise. Now, we've recently seen how Bitcoin has been making a move on up. That, right? You can see it right here. But look at this. XRP and XLM have not been making that move. Again, just junk news, right? Fake news when it comes to the XRP ETF. We saw that. We also saw some fake court stuff out there. So there's just been a lot of fun. Now look at BTC making the move. So you're seeing a little bit of separation and not in the right direction. For those who like to play pairings, MEP likes to play pairings. Look, this is not the direction we want to see the pairings. But now we're also looking at ETH making the move. And that's the weird one. And I think we could get some more oomph from ETH as Bitcoin kind of starts doing its separation thing. Check this out. For the majority of the year, ETH is in red, XLM is blue, XRP in purple. For the majority of this year, for the first 7 months and change, ETH was the winner, okay? Then from the Torres ruling, you saw that is where XRP and XLM have been, yes, leading since, okay? But now what we're seeing, and if we zoom in just a little bit down here, you could see that we're starting to make the move on ETH. And as ETH started making this move right here, XRP and XLM also started making this move. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to think that if ETH doesn't have any big resistance coming up, if a lot of the floor is starting to build and get stronger and stronger and stronger, if a lot of us out there are looking at optimism of a BTC ETF, and we're thinking, hey, we're not going to run at total complete meltdown, people are not going to take complete profits, there's going to be a lot of reinvestment. My guess is 80% reinvestment. Seriously, that's what I'm thinking right now. 80% reinvestment. I don't think it's going to be bad. Will you see a little profit taking? Of course. Hey, putting profit in your pockets is not how you go broke, right? It's good to put green in your pockets. Green pays bills. Hope doesn't pay bills. And so you're going to see people take some profits, but I think a lot of people are going to reinvest. But now that ETH is making this move, and now that ETH doesn't have any of that resistance going forward, ETH could be another reason that XRP and XLM could keep moving. Now, between the two, XLM has, yes, definitely been the laggard. If we look at year to date, for all three, you will see that, yes, XRP is up 82% for the year. ETH is at 74 with XLM at 66, and that's starting from January 1st. So when we see profit taking with any sort of BTC ETF, and especially the conversion from Grayscale, yeah, of course, that's totally healthy. I mean, come on. How many people took profit with the Judge Torres action, right? I mean, we saw that. That's why the price action didn't last, because people took profits, juicy profits, by the way. So now we're looking at this and we're thinking, okay, sooner or later, right, SEC is going to approve BTC ETF. So we're starting to price in that optimism because we know it's right around the bend. And remember, stock markets, crypto markets, we're very forward looking, okay? We're pricing action ahead, okay? Now, negative news can cripple us right now, but we always try to like pricing forward. So if we're going to price in a little bit of a correction on some of this BTC conversion, but we know that ETH is moving too, and a lot of these investors are going to want to reinvest because now you're going to have an ETF that's going to have a lot more protections, a lot more green light regulatory action, right? You're not going to see as much issue with that. You can have more money coming in. Now with ETH leading this latest charge and seeing that there's really no resistance here in the near term that's significant, we got some good room here, some good room to grow. Now, we start talking about Jerome Powell and the Fed pausing Christmas, which seriously, I think they're going to pause. I think they're going to pause. And if they do, we're talking we got a chance of making something happen here over the next few months. Are there things we got to look out for? Yes, of course. But we're seeing some optimism with Ethereum. And remember, we talked about Ethereum on the channel. Remember the live stream we did where we were in there and we talked on live stream. We said, you know what? ETH has just been irrelevant lately. Like, ETH has just been blah and boring and people aren't liking it. And then all of a sudden, ETH starts coming to play. We just need to make sure that ETH pulls up the alts like Bitcoin has here in recent history. Because if any correction does happen with Bitcoin, but we do have some strength in ETH, that could balance that out and make that negativity nowhere near as bad at all. So I'm happy. I'm happy to see some things changing in the market. I'm happy to see the market maturing. Like I said, there are some things out there in the future that I am nervous about, but that is for a different video. What am I doing today? I still got a workout to do today, and yeah, pre-burn. What are you cool cats doing today? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch y'all later. And yes, happy Friday, everyone.